I was going to make a video justifying why Dragon Ball Z is cool, but then I decided I don't gotta justify what I like. Neither do you for that matter, especially when giving recommendations. Because think about your favorite shows. How many start good right out the gate? It's fine, I'll give you a second. Yeah, so aside from sitcoms, I can't think of many. It's what I call 4-episode syndrome. Namely, I'll say you should watch this show, but give it a few episodes. For me, the most relatable example would be Breaking Bad, because God, I tried to watch that show.
Got some big cow house way out that
I must
way,
have watched
like
the first
2
2 or so
miles, but
episodes 5 times
I don't
over
see
3
nobody.
years.
Cow house?
Until I was watching this
Yeah,
YouTube reviewer,
where they
whose
live.
opinions I've pretty much
Big
always agreed
cows.
with. Say basically
Oh, whatever, man. Shit, yeah,
look,
let's
just
cook here.
watch the first season. If you're not hooked yet, watch until this scene with Jesse's girlfriend. I won't say which one, but damn, you'll know. If that doesn't get you into it, just finish that season, which at that point you might as well just finish the show. You're halfway there.
Pretty bad. I mean, pictures are always so awesome.
So I did exactly that.
It's like,
I
hell
watched
yeah,
up to
I'm
when
stoked for
Walter
this
let Jesse's
lasagna
girl
and
OD,
you kid,
and I was
and
hooked.
the cheese gets all scabby on top.
More
and
recently,
it's
I was talking to
it's
a
like
friend
you're
about The
eating a scab.
Mandalorian, and they weren't that into it. My knee-jerk reply was, oh, it picks up after the first 4 episodes. Perhaps I should just say it gets better, though honestly I shouldn't need to. Can you call a show a good series if you have to make
No.
excuses? Isn't it the studio's job to get you involved early on?
All right. But this is
It's
the
not
last
as easy
time.
as that, especially when it comes to shows that do big changes in the canon.
Life is
Star
just a
Trek is
blink.
big on that lately, Dragon Ball as well, plus, Sonic's always rebooting and
It is
retconning.
one heartbeat
These changes never seem to land well.
in the entire life.
There's always a backlash instantly, and sure, I get it, but most of these series are only good because of how long we waited for them to establish themselves.
Today we seek to understand a
So
thread like
why
none
the
our
hell should a
galaxy
big
has faced
change be
before.
good right out the gate?
We're not
A good example of canon changing paying off? You want Star Trek or Dragon Ball? Both? Me too. So, Star Trek has had no shortage of negative backlash. For Discovery Spore Drive being pre-Kirk,
Leadership is
and it just lets you warp almost anywhere instantly. They do address that later. It was destroying this other plane of existence.
and a wrecking ball.
So,
It'll be bumpy.
kinda not what Starfleet does.
We're not certain.
That and the mushroom world started actively attacking ships that passed through it, so there you go. It's not perfect, but they did take care of it. So if you don't like it, you don't gotta think about it. They wrapped it up and pushed it aside. Dragon Ball brought back Pilaf and his crew as babies. They kinda messed up a wish on the Dragon Balls, trying to get revenge on Goku. They accidentally wished themselves young, wanting a chance to do things differently. Talking the wish out, they kinda happened to say it wrong. But this wish happened right before the Android saga. And that's why they couldn't use the Dragon Balls when Goku died of his heart disease, or when the androids were going around killing people, and then next thing you know, Piccolo's dead. Remember, they went around killing for a while before the Z-Warriors found them. They then point out this is what happened when Mai shows up in the Future Trunks timeline during the Goku Black story arc. Plus, it fundamentally relegates GT to its own timeline, which they point out there are several timelines with the dumb time ring stuff. Star Wars, well, that's a whole different thing. I could explain it in detail, but that would be a whole thing. I will say, however, that episodes 7 through 9, Luke, that's literally his last few weeks alive. Those movies happened back to back practically, so Does it matter? All the other films skip years in between them. Is it really messing up that much canon if Luke was a grumpy turd for his last few days? Not really. It's not always so easy to write this stuff off. Some shows really just disappoint so much they have to completely make a different Full Metal Alchemist series to fix things. That or they keep canceling series like Berserk that keep constantly ruining its adaptations. To Game of Thrones, who just walk away and don't care what the fandom thinks. Either you like it or you don't. Some shows start strong and then just collapse like a flan in a cupboard. That's fine. You don't owe them anything. You could just be honest and say Babylon 5 got dumb. Andromeda lost its focus. Detective Conan got stale. Or that game series just keeps shoving out the same thing every 2 years and you're over it. I tend to get hung up on what I like. I either try to justify it or at least justify my love of it. And all that does is hold us back, honestly. I can't think of any fandom community that didn't straight up creep me the f out. Aside from being way into something, they always tend to gravitate towards a few content creators and take their views as gospel truth, the collective headcanon, or revile them as heretical fools who don't know what they're talking about. I'm guilty of having an established headcanon for most things I enjoy, which you'll hear plenty about as I make more of these videos. If you like it, awesome, run with it. Add it to your own, build on it, and if you don't, well, tell me how you think it goes down. I might not agree, but I'll find it interesting at least. I don't mean for this to sound like an advertisement for the Discord or the website as a whole. Just, that's what Action Couch Life offers. We're a community that accepts and encourages everyone's views on what they enjoy. Your downtime's special. You need to enjoy it. Easiest way to do that is to share what you like with people you trust. You shouldn't have to be self-conscious about what makes you happy. Well, within reason anyway. Some of you are, well, you do you. I'm not going to judge. Stop wasting time stressing over if your friends might like something and just share it with them. Worst case scenario, they tell you why they didn't like it or why they're not interested. Like, I'm sure none of you want me to go into why I love MASH, so I doubt I'll bring it up. That said, I'm certain nobody really wants to hear my thoughts on Dragon Ball, but that video's coming, so. I've watched more shows to completion than most people will give up on. Shows I didn't even particularly like. They did help me better understand what I do or don't like about other shows. So I keep just watching random garbage. As much as I didn't enjoy Lost Girl, it was at least neat. Not to mention my unhealthy addiction to anything animated. Funnily enough, I've watched some of the dumbest, obscure 80s shows and still barely touched SpongeBob. Not saying I don't enjoy it, just it never grabbed me. Honestly, I've been walking away from shows more and more out of the inability to easily watch them than disliking them. Shows like Rick and Morty bounce around streaming services to ones I don't have. South Park did the same thing. That or they just have release schedules so inconsistent I can't keep track anymore. Not saying I need a full season drop like Netflix does. That does help though, but I don't have HBO Max or Amazon Prime. So if I'm to track something down that's on there, it's by other means, so I might catch an episode or two and then wait to grab the full season, only to forget about it. Then there are shows like Final Space that I'd be down to watch, but I never find it. Sure, I could go grab full seasons, but that's this whole thing, setting aside the time and being in the mood to specifically watch that show. It lacks the fun of just stumbling across it, browsing a menu. I used to love grabbing random movies and box sets on payday. Just flipping through shelves and discount bins is my idea of a good time. Only now with streaming menus. Netflix and Paramount Plus replaced Walmart and Suncoast Video to me. I still shop around, just it's in stores that are more all you can eat, less a la carte. So think of it like that. You don't feel bad recommending the strange meat dish at Twin Dragons, do ya? Of course not. It's not costing any extra, so when you talk about shows, it's the same thing. If the person already has the streaming service, it's not gonna cost them to give it a shot. Games are different, so maybe still explain if it has a slow start, or if you're asking your friend to spend money on something, it's best just to explain it to them. Possibly, if you can, have them come play it at your place first. That, or just show up and hand them a copy of Persona 5 and be like, give it back when you're done. Because I was over the Persona series. I bought the third one on the PSP and I wasn't a fan. So I was in no rush to play 5. Probably never would have. Until I was bored and Spence's copy was just sitting on my desk. 3 days and 1 platinum trophy later, I'm strongly back in the Atlas RPG camp. Free is a great way to show people your interests. That alone should be incentive if they actually share those interests with you, or trust that you know theirs. Even our Discord is free. I mean, you can pay for it if you want. So, what was this all about? Dragon Ball Z, that's right. I recommend checking it out. It's on Hulu and Funimation, I think. I start with Dragon Ball Classic, but it has a slow start. The whole first season is, well, different. So maybe either start like 13 episodes in, where he starts to train with Master Roshi, or just, you know, if you do watch the first arc, just know it's nothing like the rest of the series. It doesn't get into the karate fights, solve everything, until Master Roshi shows up. Before then, it's just a comical romp with slapstick fights. If not, then just see what shows your friends are into. I mean, Netflix is costing you money, whether you use it or not, so you might as well just throw it on in the background. There's plenty of stuff you can do on your phone to occupy yourself, but you're not going to know what shows you like unless you give it a shot. Alright, see ya.